Hi, family. I hope you all are doing well. Our family is doing well, and we're grateful for it. So, I've been struck this week by random acts of kindness during this season of COVID-19, this pandemic, and reopening up Dallas and reopening up other parts of the country and other parts of the world. Uh, I've also been struck by a contrast because there have been random acts of kindness that are wonderful, wonderful expressions of good moral behavior, but also terrible acts of darkness and stealing. And anyway, it's just a real contrast during this time period. And it's all sort of come to the surface. But I wanted to kind of focus on these random acts of kindness, but not make it so random. Here, listen to what the Lord has written to us, the Spirit of God has written to us in the book of Messianic Jews, the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. I'm just going to begin in verse 22. Let us draw near with a sincere heart, in full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. I suspect that our bodies washed with pure water is a reference to either immersion or something like going into the mikveh, using it that here as an application for clean hearts and pure water, clean bodies. So, excuse me. So we have a full assurance of faith, having had our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience. Let us, in verse 23, let us hold fast. Let's hold on to, let's hold it down so we don't lose grip of this. Let us hold fast to the confession of our hope, or to the knowledge of our hope. Our confession of our hope without wavering, without leaning away from or wavering in and out. Hold steady, in other words. My wife's uncle, Marlene's uncle, years ago when I graduated from Bible college back in 1980, he said to me, I want to give you two words. He said, these are the two words. Hold steady. You know, I've held on to those two words for all these years. And in the light of tribulation or when troubles come, I remember those words, hold steady. And that's what the writer of the book of Messianic Jews is saying here. Let's hold fast. Let's hold steady. Our confession of hope without wavering. Let's hold steady. For he who promised is faithful. So we can have faith in the one who has made the promises because he is faithful. And we have a hope that we can hold on to and we can hold steady with because that hope is based on the promises of the one who is faithful. And let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, mitzvot, good deeds. These random acts of kindness are an example of this, but this is very deliberate. This is not random. This is in verse 22. Let's draw near. Let's draw near to God with sincere heart, in full assurance of our trusting, of our faith in the one who makes the promises to us. And so we have faith. And in verse 23, let's hold fast. These are all encouraging words. Let's hold fast the confession of our hope. So let's draw near with assurance of faith to the one who makes the promise. Let's hold fast, let's hold steady in our confession of hope, faith and hope, to the one who promised because he's faithful. And let's consider how to stimulate one another in love and good deeds. This kind of reminds me a little bit of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where Rav Shaul talks about the greatest of these three things, faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. So hope, we have a hope, and we can draw near to God with this assurance and with our hope intact, because we know the one who has made the promises to us, and he is faithful to keep his word. Boy, we love that. I mean, I love that. And so let us hold steady with that hope without wavering. Let us draw near in faith, let us hold steady in hope, and let us consider how to stimulate one another in love. Faith, hope, and love. In this case, faith, we need faith until Yeshua comes. We need to continue to believe that God is faithful and that Yeshua's word is true, that he is coming for us. So hold steady with that. Hold steady in your faith, in your trust in God's word. Hold fast, hold steady again. Let's draw near to him, hold steady again with that hope that we have in the one who made the promise, because he's faithful. But let's ultimately stimulate one another through faith, through hope, in love. Let's act on love. Love is a verb. It's not a noun. Love is a verb, to love. So expressions of love that come by our trusting in Yeshua, by hoping, continuing to hope in the one who is faithful to keep his promise. Let's stimulate one another to love and good deeds. So being struck this week by these random acts of kindness reminded me of this word. And I think that we can make this a part of our lives, not just during this season of COVID-19 or this coronavirus, but always. Let's remember to always do this. Let's continue to do this. I'm stimulating you to love. I want to stimulate you to love and to do good deeds, to continue to do acts of kindness, to continue to relate to one another with the love of God. This word love here in Greek is agape, so it's the love of God, and we need to continue to relate to one another with the love of God and continue to perform acts of kindness toward one another. So I just pray that the Lord will bless you during this time, and when this time is over, when this difficult time of trouble is over, to continue in these, in the love of God and the deeds that are good, the acts that are good. So just as a reminder, God stirs us up, and he stirs us up. If we become too comfortable, he stirs us up with some trouble. If we become troubled, God is faithful to bless us with his reassurance. So now we're a little uncomfortable because we're experiencing a little trouble. Just remember, the one who made his promises to us will be faithful, because he is faithful to keep his promises in Yeshua, our Messiah. God bless you. May the Lord continue to express his loving kindness to you. Let's do it toward one another as well. Shalom.